Did Howie overplay his hand with the Patriots thing? The Patriots signed Romeo Doubs. It feels like in those phone calls that the Patriots maybe have a little more hand than they had 2 hours ago.
So this morning, I had the opinion of the Patriots now hold the power in these negotiations. And I think that's even more true now. And the thing that tipped me off to the fact that the Eagles want to trade AJ is the Mike Garafolo report from over the weekend, where they were trying to find creative ways to get the deal done. You do not find creative ways to get a deal done unless you want a deal to get done. If their true opinion was, we're going to sit here in the Jefferson Health Complex, and if you want AJ, you call us, you give us an offer, and we'll do it, then they wouldn't have to get creative. They could just sit there and wait till they got a good enough offer, and then they would make the trade. If Howie is working, according to Garafolo, who I obviously believe, was working to get creative with the Patriots on how to do a deal, that tells me they want to find a deal to get AJ out of here. And so if that's the case, the options to do that are dwindling. The Bills are now out of it. The Ravens are now out of it as a result of trading what they did for Max Crosby. I think the Chiefs would make some sense, but you haven't heard a ton of the Chiefs being involved. So it was the Patriots, or it seemed like nothing. And now the Patriots, while Romeo Doubs does not replace AJ, when you put $70 million down, you have less of an incentive to go out and hand out another $70 million or more, which is what it would probably take to get AJ.
Yeah, it is the negotiation part of it was always probably the most interesting part of it. It would seem like it was a bit of a standoff at that point. And just to clarify what you were saying about Garafolo and Howie getting creative, it seemed like what Howie was trying to do was get part of the trade done now, and then the other part of the trade done after June 1st. Maybe you exchange something now, and then you know,
do the rest of it then.
Yeah, you pinky swear that you're going to do it after June 1st.
And you only do that if you want to do the deal. There's no reason to go above and beyond to find a way to trade AJ if you don't want to trade AJ. If your true stance is he's a great player, we're happy to have him, you make the offer, then you just sit back. But if he's actually being creative like that, that says the Eagles, and I think there's truth to this, probably said to themselves, we're going to trade AJ. The offer will be good enough. And you plan your offseason around that. You plan your offseason around not having AJ. You plan your offseason around having the cash that you were going to pay AJ, potentially the other draft pick. So the Eagles are in a tough spot because I know they've said, like, we'd welcome AJ back and, all those things. Who knows from here on out where this thing goes? Like, if AJ's under the perception that the Patriots wanted him and the Eagles are the reason that didn't happen, what's AJ going to feel? Is he going to come to OTAs? Is he going to come to mandatory minicamp? Is he going to have a hamstring injury the first day of training camp? Like, how far will he go if he is upset with this? And I think now this is a situation they have to ask themselves, do we want to bring AJ back and see, or do we want to trade him for less than maybe we thought initially?
Oh, boy, I tell you, this thing is so complicated. It really is, because on one hand, I'm looking at this thing like, okay, why do I have such a valuable commodity in A.J. Brown, and I'm going to sell low with A.J. Brown, right? I'm not the one who was looking to trade him. He wants to be traded. They're sitting over there like, yeah, we're waiting. Mm-hmm. We're waiting. We know you got to sell it. We know you got to sell him. We're not budging off our price, meaning the Patriots. And so the Eagles, they do have to take into account what next year is about and what it's a bridge to, right? So if you're trying to sort of restart something here with this new offensive regime, you got a young defense, and you're trying to build something positive moving forward, then they have to be fully confident that AJ is on board with that mission moving forward. If he's not, then they have to trade him.
Yes.
Like you just do.
Well, you said something there at the beginning, and I think I agree with you, but maybe we all need to change our perception on it. Like a valuable commodity, right? AJ's been available for trade for what, a month now, right?
Yeah.
And
potentially a trade deadline. So
and potentially
maybe
the trade
3 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I think that it's a little more complicated, the deadline, but to your point, AJ has been available. And as of yet, nobody has blown the door down with an offer. If Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase became available today, how long until they got an offer for a first-round pick?
Oh, a minute.
Right. So
I was going to say 5 minutes.
I think AJ is still a very good receiver. The rest of the league is telling you to an extent, maybe he's not the guy that the Eagles think he is, right? Because there was reporting out of New England that they were concerned about his knees, right? He didn't have a good year last year. We all talk about, the drops he had, some of the effort issues. So maybe when, we can sit here and go, if it's not a 1, you're not getting him. The league has clearly said, well, then we're not interested.
So this per Karen Garugian of Mass
just
Live?
For some context, she's covered the team for 30 years. She is maybe the top Patriots reporter.
That is good information to have. She said they're definitely not trading for... No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
She says, I'm sorry. I'm told the Romeo Doubs signing won't necessarily preclude the Patriots from continuing to pursue A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think it would preclude. I just think it puts the negotiations in a different context than they were before.
They just don't need him as badly now.
Yeah, and the other thing that we don't know is, and Eliot, you were touching on this, is well, it's like a two-part thing. One is whether the Eagles told A.J. Brown, we're going to try, or we're going to do it, we're going to get this done, or how much A.J.'s side is pushing the Eagles to make this happen, like how desperately he wants to get out of here, and how much he has told the Patriots, or his agent has told the Patriots, his agent who talks to the Patriots, don't worry, we're pushing over there.
Exactly.
They know we're not going to camp. And that is another part of the dynamic here, which puts the Eagles in a worse position to get what they feel like is the proper value.
Well, and so to that question, you're right, we don't know. I haven't spoken to AJ since the end of the season, right? So but from being around him, I think one thing this helps is he does have a good relationship with Nick. Him and Devontae are very close. He has friends in the locker room. I don't know if AJ has it in him to do the stuff I was saying, of holding out for minicamp, of not going to, whatever. But I don't know what he was told either. So if he was expecting to be gone and now that's not happening, I don't know how he'll react to that. And understandably, too, by the way.
Well, even if he doesn't hold out or do any of that stuff, is he still here begrudgingly? Is he happy to be here?
Is he going to do all the things?
That's what we want. See, here's the thing we want as Eagles fans. We want you to be all in with the Eagles. That's all we care about.
Yeah.
All the other stuff, and if he's not all in with the Eagles, then eventually fans will start to feel that. And if he's already mentally checked out, it just makes for just a bad environment. It just does, because he's not again, if he's not fully committed in the mission and the plan that the Eagles have for 2026, then I don't know how you move forward with him. Because we've seen where when he isn't happy with the way the offense is going or what have you, he's not shy about expressing that. Even when he does I'm not speaking to the media for weeks. That doesn't help. And then when you do decide to speak, it's rarely about unification, team, coming together, self-accountability, looking in the mirror first. It's really always about, it ain't me. They need to fix. Somebody need to fix. I don't like what's going on. This ain't good enough. I ain't happy. That wears on the team, man, years upon years. And I don't know if AJ has it in him to, for lack of a better way of putting it, faking it.
I don't think he does.
No,
yeah. I think AJ has tried his best.
So you're going to get what he truly feels.
Yes.
And if he's already checked out, then that means I just don't know how you. I just don't know how it works from a vibe standpoint.
Yeah. We also have a new offensive coordinator who's never called plays before. We have a quarterback who could very well be going into this season without any guaranteed money after this year, trying to learn a new system in a prove-it year in a lot of ways. And you have to make sure at that point. I think there are teams that can withstand the temperamental player. But it's usually a team where everything is stable and set, and that player feels like an outlier if they act different than everything else.
Right.
This does not feel like that sort of, even though they have the same head coach, and this year is much too important and iffy and all of those things to go into it without everyone being sort of in on making the changes needed that they need to make to be as good as they need to be.
There will be growing pains.
Yes.
There absolutely will be.
Yes.
So there's going to be bumps. And you need a team that when there's bumps is going to say, that's okay. I can see the long view here.
Yes. I didn't mean to cut you off. You said exactly what I was going to say. When those rough times come up, I don't need my teammates side-eyeing me or going to the reporters or, creating little huddles around the team. Look at this dude. You don't need that. What you need is support. We're all trying to get through this offense. We're all trying to learn this offense. And the better he plays, the better it's going to be for all of us, right? Mm-hmm. So, like you said, when you get those rough spots, you're going to need support there. You're going to need everybody pulling in the same direction. The moment something goes wrong or things aren't going great and somebody starts to pull away from the team, we've seen it. We've seen it, and this is not a good year for that, man. It's too much on the line this year.
The other thing I've been thinking a lot about today with this is Jaelan's side of it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Jaelan, I think up until now, has done a really good job handling the AJ situation publicly, right? I can't speak to privately, but publicly, there's been lots of times where he could have, snapped back in the media, leaked something if he wanted. We haven't heard anything negative leaked about AJ. Not one thing, right? Yep. So clearly, Jaelan has not done that. But the other part of it is, if you're Jaelan, at what point do you say to the team, all right, man, 2 years, this guy has helped to kind of create the perception that I'm the issue with the passing game. And even if it's true, not true, whatever, if you ask any national reporter, why does AJ want to be traded? I think every single one of them would say, because he doesn't want to play with Jaelan. That is what people say. And if I'm Jaelan, I'm sitting here and going, I've won a Super Bowl with you. You got 2 big contracts with me as your quarterback. You've got over 1,000 yards every year. You've been an second-team All-Pro twice, I believe. So, at a certain point, if AJ and his team are out there trying to get out, and the message is it's because he wants to play with a better quarterback, at what point does Jaelan stand up and go, okay, if that's what he wants, Jeffrey, get him out of here. Well, Howie, I don't want him here. And I don't think Jaelan would do that, but I do wonder if Jaelan should consider it.
Well, I'll tell you what, forget about telling them. I mean, that's one thing you want to do. I would, if we're going to play games like this, if now maybe Jalen's been assured AJ won't be here. I don't know. Who knows? But the other thing is, I would leak to the media, Jalen Hurts is not, would not have a positive reaction to A.J. Brown being on the team next year. And say, okay, Eagles, you keep threatening to bring him back. I've been given no assurances. This guy has done nothing but undermine me for the last 2.5 or 3 years. And undermine the organization, too, also, by the way. I do think that Patriots pod, we talk about the good relationship with Nick. He blathered on for 4 minutes about what a good coach Mike Vrabel is and didn't take 10 seconds to talk about how good a coach Nick Sirianni is. I agree with you. If you're Jalen Hurts going into this season with all that is on the line, I said that a bunch of times this year. I didn't think it was fair to Jalen. Going into next year, I tell you what, I don't even know that there is an assurance that A.J. Brown could give me that I would feel comfortable with going into this year. I wouldn't.
I agree. And so that's why I think they've kind of gotten themselves into a tough spot here, because if they don't trade him, I'd imagine there was a meeting where they sat down and said, a month ago, 2 months ago, what do we want to do? What do we want to do with AJ?
Sure.
And I'd imagine they decided we're going to listen to offers and we're open to doing it, right? We have decided we are open to trading AJ. If you decide that after a meeting, probably of discussing all the pros and cons, and then you keep him, that just feels like maybe they're at a situation where they've decided that he's not going to be here. And then if you bring him back, that kind of opens a whole can of worms that you didn't think you were going to have to deal with.
What? Let me ask you one team. Houston.
I think Kansas City.
They could use a receiver in Houston, man.
But forgetting about
Miami.
Well, Miami's probably got a cap situation this year.
Yeah, good point.
They have $50 million.
I was thinking of Patula.
And 5 players, $200 million who aren't even
that's
there.
A good point.
Yeah. What do you think the reaction is? Let's say they say to themselves, all right, we're taking the best available trade. And the best available trade is a second and a fifth that could be a fourth. What is the public reaction?
They're upset.
And how does that make Howie Roseman, who definitely cares about what the perception of Howie Roseman is nationally, what does that say, and how do people react if that's what you got up there and you said you'll listen to offers for anyone? You basically said you'd have to be bowled over. It was leaked that they wanted a first and a second, and you go and you take a second and a fifth because you know you can't bring them back. I don't know.
But here's where I think just a little bit he would deserve the benefit of the doubt because we have seen Howie extract the most possible out of assets before. So if all he gets a 2 and a 4, I don't think I could sit here and say, well, he could have got a 1, but he messed up. And like maybe he did, but I think Howie's generally pretty good at this.
Oh, I agree. I'm just talking about the general sentiment of.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people who just want AJ back next year.
Yeah, and this isn't 2014 and 15. Where, you're going to have to explain for a guy like AJ not being here. And a 2 and a 4, the fan base. Now, listen, I think Howie's built up enough good cachet that I think the initial reaction, people are going to be upset. But we're Eagles fans. Eventually you move on and you get over it. But if AJ has already decided that he doesn't want to be here anymore, I just don't know how you move past that. Especially, it's like the worst kept secret.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no one believes that AJ doesn't want to be traded or the Eagles aren't looking to trade AJ.
And what will
anymore.
AJ say when he's asked?
This is clearly being discussed around the league.
Well, I think where things could get ugly is, to your point, when they initially announced the trade, if it happens, and it's a 2 and a 4, I think there would be some people that would say, he wanted out, this is the best they could get. Where it would get ugly is weeks 2, 3, where
you're actually playing.
Where if they don't find an adequate replacement, right, or if the passing game is struggling again, then I think you would go, well, why did you trade him for it too?
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
I can't decide what's more entertaining. Like, what could be more entertaining than training camp starting this year with A.J. Brown in it? What could be more entertaining?
A.J. Brown training camp stats.
Oh, my God. Oh, it would be incredible.
Well, a new category.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How many hamstring, slight hamstring strains would he have?
Well, I'm excited to talk about it for 12 hours tomorrow.
Yeah. I have all this other stuff.
I was about to say 12 hours.
Right. Birds
6 a.m.
Town
to
Hall
6 p.m.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Birds Town Hall. Eliot from 6
God
to
bless
6.
you. God bless you.
Amen. I think my 5th year in a row doing
The
it.
free agency desk.
Yep. Yeah. The big boy table.
Are you, when we finally get there, and we will be at McGurk's in Horsham tomorrow, that's the McGurk's we're at,
Yes.
right? McGurk's
Yeah.
Horsham. By the time this show starts, are you cooked at 2 o'clock, or does the fact that this show is starting?
So honestly, it's not hard at all.
Okay.
It's shocking. Well, it's because it's what I at home I would just sit, talk Eagles, and check my laptop all the time, and that's what I do there. I just get McGurk's food and hang with you guys.
All right.
And you got to ramp up when we get there.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say that's when the real show
The
begins.
last 2 hours of the midday show, you could probably check out.
Yeah.
They're not holding you accountable.
No one holds me accountable like Jack.
Where's
That is
Njoku?
true.
Yeah, well, that's tomorrow's Njoku watch. Because if you have
I feel
any
good about
chance
that,
of Eagles Insider of the Year, David Njoku's got to be an Eagle.
I agree. I agree.
Okay.
It's just like last year.
I know, but this will be bigger than Aziz.
Well, but your competition's bigger this year.
Agreed. Everyone's had a great year. It's been awesome to watch.
Not everyone. 3.
I think everyone has.
Well, right. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Look, I said, and you would be proud of me last week, I said McManus has had a disappointing year. Love McManus. He's a great reporter. As far as insider stuff, to me, I was expecting him to come in and blow you out of the water. I think.
Thank you.
No, he's been ahead of you.
Yeah, well,
to be sure.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
Yeah.
Had a disappointing year. Obviously ahead of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 3 who I think have had an outstanding year, and the 2 are on one level and one's on another one, is Jeff McClain, Diana Rossini, and Kemsky.
I agree. They've all been awesome.
They've all had a great year.
Who's in first? I didn't hear the.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
I honestly don't listen anymore.
He gave you the order in which he has them.
So Jeff McClain's first, but we have agreed that if Rossini was to break the AJ trade, it would be difficult for her. We don't know. We don't know what the committee will decide.
I'm excited to see where the votes lay. What we do know is you just need the most points, not the most
That's the most first place votes,
exactly.
which Tim McManus got last year.
Might be another huddle up session.
Yeah,
for the
might be
committee.
another huddle up.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to listening from home when you guys give out the new trophy.
No, you'll be here, buddy.
Okay.
You'll be here.
Will I? Yeah.
Yes,
I
you
saw
will.
the new trophy out there.
Yeah.
All right. So, Eliot, what are the Eagles going to do at Edge?
Well, they definitely have to pivot because I think they planned on having Jaelan Phillips back. I think when they made the blueprint for the offseason, they thought they would get him back. And obviously they decided not to match. I probably would have matched, but they decided not to, so now he's gone. If you look at the options out there, I do think you have to sign somebody. I don't think... we're itching towards where the draft comes and we're looking there and going, they need a wide receiver in the first round. They need offensive tackle in the first round. They need a tight end or what, and then obviously edge. So 2 names I think are interesting. Bradley Chubb, obviously a connection to Fangio. Now, I don't think he's as good as Jaelan Phillips. He's older. He has the same injury concerns. He doesn't get as much quarterback pressure. And then Jonathan Grenard from the Vikings, I think, is an interesting one. He does have good sack production. He's had pretty good pass rush production in terms of getting hurries, but you're going to have to trade for him and pay him. Now, he's not going to get as much as Phillips probably, but you're also trading maybe a third or a fourth or something like that on top of it.
Looking back, so they give Jordan Davis the huge contract. I still, looking at the numbers of that contract,
it's crazy.
It is a psycho amount for a guy who has really had one good year.
Yeah.
And to your point yesterday, not much pressure on the quarterback
and doesn't really play on third down.
It has not played on third down at least. Going back, do you think it would have been better to pay Milton Williams, who is making, I think, less per year than Jordan Davis would, than have given Jordan Davis this contract? Because we all looked at that contract and we said, oh, that's overpay for Milton Williams. Now, Milton Williams had a great year. Do you think that would have been a better contract than the contract they just gave Jordan Davis?
So in a vacuum, yes. Like I would rather have Milton on his deal than Jordan Davis on his deal. But they do have Moro Ojomo still. And I think Moro Ojomo is, I can't say just as good as Milton Williams because he hasn't played the volumes of snaps. But if you look at the hurry numbers, he gets after the quarterback at a really high rate. Like I think Moro Ojomo will get paid a big contract. So the fact that they had Moro Ojomo, I think, explains why you let Milton walk. But to your point, I think Milton Williams at his money is a better deal than Jordan Davis at his money.
I don't know about that.
I mean, Milton Williams is one of the best pass rushing defensive tackles in the league.
Well, we know that now.
And that led to what?
Yeah.
Well, they almost won the Super Bowl.
That's a team thing.
Yeah. Well, defensive tackle win-loss is my new thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, that's a team thing. What did Milton Williams do individually?
Well, but the Milton Williams things too.
I don't know what he did individually. Did he dominate?
Well, he had an awesome year. He was hurt for a little bit, but he was, when healthy, he was awesome.
I think 3.5 sacks.
I think he was top 10 or top 5 in pressures.
Pressures.
Well, pressures do matter. They do. Like it's similar to a sack. It's not as good, I guess. Some would argue better because it creates turnovers. But.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's nothing.
Certainly better at getting the quarterback so far than Jordan Davis.
Oh no, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is Jordan Davis is younger, I believe.
I think they might be. Yeah, he's probably younger because Milton was probably in college longer, and I think he was drafted earlier.
Yeah. So Jordan Davis is younger. I think with a greater upside, when you look at his size.
Jordan Davis, you're saying?
Jordan Davis, yes. If he can keep that weight down, I think that's a.
They're both 26.
Both 26? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think there's that great of a difference. So I'm not going to tell you that Jordan Davis is absolutely better than Milton Williams. I'm just saying. I thought if Jordan Davis can continue to build off what he did this past year, that was a pretty damn good year. And I don't know if Milton Williams had that type of year in him when he was with the Eagles.
So Milton Williams, I think, is what he is at this point, which is very good. But I would agree Jordan Davis has already once exceeded expectations. Mm-hmm. So there is a world. But the issue with the contract...
And he's making less than Milton Williams.
Yeah, but the issue with the contract to me is you've already paid him like a top 5 defensive tackle.
I meant the overall deal.
Yeah,
Milton Williams' deal was bigger, right?
It was 100 versus 78, but average per year is about the same.
But I also think the important thing with Jordan Davis is, Milton Williams. This time last year, everybody was like, well, you couldn't pay Milton that. Like, you couldn't pay him. That's way too much money. I don't think the Patriots regret it at all. So while now we can sit here and go, well, there's no way you could pay Jaelan Phillips $30 million a year. Okay, but let's see, right? Let's get into the season and see if he would have been worth that and if they find an adequate replacement. And that's the other thing. So the Eagles will say, we'll have, we have the whole offseason. We still have the second wave of free agency. We have the draft. We have it doesn't stop until the trade deadline. I'm trying to think in the past few years, how many players have they added after the first wave of free agency that ended up being big time impact players? Because you look last year and they didn't sign someone until the third day at Byrdstown Hall. And then it was, all right, well, I like the Uche signing. I liked Azeez Ojulari.
Both terrible.
None of them ended up helping. You look at the 11 free agents they signed. The best one by far was Adoree', who I think ended up giving them quality snaps. That was a good signing. But when they've made impact signings, Saquon was the first day. Zach Bond was the first day.
Yeah.
So they can try to add guys from here on out, but it's much, much harder when you're shopping from the bargain bin.
Yeah, but here's the deal. And here's what we're banking on. The talent is already here.
We better hope.
That's what I got to bank on.
On what side of the ball?
On either side of the ball. You tell me. Just let's assume, take AJ out of the equation.
Yeah.
So we know we need something at wide receiver. Alex Pierce, really? That we're doing on first day. He was a top wide receiver.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous, the money he got.
Yeah, he got overpaid.
So there's no first day wide receiver available. What else I'm looking at? Tight end?
Well, the
haven't even signed a tight end yet? Isaiah Likely?
I think Njoku, hopefully.
Well, I'm just saying anybody. I think Isaiah Likely is the only tight end that may have signed with anybody out there.
Well, Cade Otton, I think did he re-sign with the Bucks?
Yeah, those guys aren't. What is that?
I think he's pretty good.
Nothing signings.
Right.
Agreed. It's like signing Ike Reese. You know what I mean? We got the free agency started.
I mean, I don't think Cade Otton's pitcher is going to be next to all the greats right there.
That's a good point.
I'm just saying.
People forget that.
They do. See it in the elevator all the time.
Defensively, what are we missing? We need a corner.
Defense, I think they'll be fine.
We need a corner, and we do need the edge rusher. We need the edge rusher.
And safety.
Okay,
Safety is the big concern.
Yeah, we do need a safety.
Get Sidney out there.
Well, I don't think that'll.
And you know, if I've jumped off the
no.
Yeah.
No longer calling.
Yeah, it's time to move on from
no
Crash.
longer calling for Crash.
Yeah. I'm not calling for Crash.
Also, look, we know who's going to be there.
Yeah.
We think, but linebacker, I have no idea how good Jahad Campbell's going to be in the Kobe Dean spot this year as well. There's a lot of, from a personnel standpoint, Vic Fangio is a great defensive coordinator. From a personnel standpoint, there are a lot of questions in there.
Yeah, so I think the defense.
A lot of good players, though.
The defense will be fine.
We can upgrade Reed's position. Love Reed. Let's face it, he was good because he was surrounded by a ton of talent. That's what D'Amico's going to find out. But good thing for D'Amico.
Yeah, he's got talent.
He's got a ton of talent there.
There's a ton of talent there.
So Reed will be okay down there. It's the edge. They got to get a competent edge rusher, and that guy is Nolan Smith.
Well, you're going to need Nolan to take a big step.
Yes,
and be healthy.
Yes, hell yeah, all of that. Yes, all of that. Got to give me at least 16 games this year, Nolan.
Yeah, and then hopefully play well in those 16 games.
So this is what we let off with. So I was thinking about last offseason. You said bargain bin. That's what I kept screaming last offseason. We're letting all these good players walk out the door, blah, blah, blah. And I see it happening again this year. And I wanted to get frustrated. I want to get angry. I can't believe we let out. But I'm starting to understand. We can say cash all we want. There's clearly a cap issue to an extent here. Absolutely.
Or cash, whatever.
Or cash. So like I can't muster up the frustration with what they're doing because I understand it. But then I think about teams that have had extended championship windows. And they go through this. Mm-hmm. All of them go through this. But most of them have a head coach quarterback combo that can lift, maybe not win a Super Bowl the next year, but make sure those years are at least competitive.
Yeah.
I think that now the Rams didn't win a Super Bowl last year, but the couple of years in between, they lost players. Mm-hmm. They kept their head above water. But I wonder. I have more faith in McVay than you do. But I think Nick Sirianni is a good coach. I think Jaelan is a pretty good quarterback. I don't think either of them are a carry it through those years. And I'm looking at the potential talent deficit, and I'm worried that these couple of years that it might be in between could look not 11-6. We were 11-6 this year.
Right. They really could have had 12 wins, though.
Yeah, could have. Also could have had 9 wins.
I should have won.
Well, I just mean because they sat starters the final game.
Sure. Yeah. But I look at them and I think, could it be a 7 win? Could these be ugly seasons?
Yeah.
And I think they could be.
So I think where you're correct is it's going to be really, really hard to maintain the level of winning they have been doing, right? There's a reason that they're both on Hall of Fame tracks because it's really hard to do for the 5 years. It just is. Very few have ever done it. Now, where I disagree with you is I do think they have shown they can win in all types of circumstances. They have, every single year, it's been a bit of a different circumstance. 2023, the defense was really bad. They turned the ball over. They still made the playoffs and won double-digit games. 2021, they didn't have great receivers. They still made the playoffs. Now, I think they only won 9 games that year, if I'm not mistaken. But they obviously overachieved that year.
Worth noting.
22 and 24, we know were successful.
Worth noting, quarterback on rookie deal.
Yep.
And an offensive line that was not paid like this offensive line.
So that's the biggest concern.
Yes.
To me, this is not, I get that it is about Nick and Jaelan, but they will be as good as the offensive line is next year, in my opinion. And that's the concern. If the offensive line is a disaster 4 weeks into the season, like Lane's hurt again, the stuff that they're doing down in Columbia or whatever doesn't work out for Landon and Cam, then they could be bad. But I have very little concern that Nick and Jaelan can take this team to the playoffs, and we will view them as contenders going into the postseason. They've shown every single year that they can either overachieve or get where people mostly think they should be.
It's also worth thinking about that the NFC East is going to be better this year than it was last year. Now, I thought that would happen last year, so nothing is a guarantee. But with John Harbaugh coaching the Giants, with their quarterback situation settled, it seems like the Cowboys are certainly loading up now they're always talented, but them loading up, we had a bad division last year. The Eagles are the only team over 500 in the division. So next year, it'll be a tougher division.
The conference will be tougher too. Mike Evans and San Francisco.
The Rams got
look
better.
Awesome.
Yeah. Are you sure the Rams look awesome? I don't know.
But so do the Eagles. Again, the Eagles
right.
have scored more points than the Rams. I know that's a niche stat.
Well, when you go back 5 years,
Yeah, you go over the length of Sirianni and Jaelan, they have proven to be better at offense than McVay.
Who do you... No, they haven't.
Well, scoring more points.
Who do you think will score more points next year? The Eagles or the Rams?
I think probably the Rams.
By a significant margin, probably, right?
I don't know about significant.
You don't think? It was significant last year. What's going to make it not significant next year?
Well, if the offensive line is better, that'll definitely help them.
Okay.
And that's it.
They have
that's a big part of it. Like if they had a better offensive line last year, they probably would be right where they were in 24.
What do you think the difference is in level of offensive coordinator from Sean McVay to Sean Mannion?
Well, but that's not the apples to apples. Like if you want to do McVay to Sirianni, then we can talk.
But Sirianni's not the offensive coordinator.
But he's the head coach that sets the offense, designs the offense, and comes up with it. He does not call the plays, and that is a difference between him and McVay. But it is Nick's offense that Sean Mannion is going to be a part of.
You know that's not true.
I 100% believe that.
You know that's not true.
They 1,000% would never in a million years.
He said it. I read.
I did too. I was
transcribed
there. Yes,
it.
I did.
You were there.
I was there. I was right there.
He wanted, after talking to the coordinators, he wanted that offense.
Agreed.
Not his offense. That offense.
I agree.
Okay, so it's not Nick's.
He wanted that offense. He picked that offense.
But if
I go to a car, store or whatever, and I look at a bunch of cars, a dealership, exactly. If I go to a car dealership,
did you say car store?
Yeah, I can think of it. Yeah. I was going to say parking lot, but if I go to a car dealership and I look at 10 cars and I decide I want that one. That's my car.
But I
decided to buy that car.
Right.
Yes.
But you didn't design the car.
Agreed.
But I'm deciding.
I'm deciding. Nick is deciding.
Elliot, if you go and buy a Ferrari, can you walk into a room and go, look what I designed, Ferrari?
But I also wouldn't go in and go, look at the Ferrari dealership's car. It's my car. It's my car. I picked the car.
Do you think Mike Tomlin looks at the Steelers' offense and says, my offense, because he hired the offensive coordinator?
I can't control how he looks at it, but he should. And Nick is the offensive head coach, and that's a difference. Mike Tomlin's a defensive coach. But Nick Sirianni is an offensive head coach that decided to run the offense they are going to run. I agree Mannion is going to be a part of it, obviously, but also let's not act like Sean Mannion has an offense. He's been a coach for 2 years. The reason they hired Mannion is because they believe he can coach the offense they want to run. What do you think? Mannion sat down and was like, look at this new offense I've learned in 2 years?
Will you admit that Nick's learning it presently.
Because Nick picked it.
Right. You can admit it's disingenuous for you next year to say they're running Nick Sirianni's
I don't
offense.
think it's disingenuous.
Yes, it is.
But I don't. I get your point that they're running a different offense, but every offense that's being run by an offensive head coach is their offense. Sean McVay probably gets ideas from different people. It's still McVay's offense. I get your point that Mannion's a part of it, clearly. But
he's not just a part of it. They hired him to bring this offense.
He's the second most important part. I agree with that.
No, he's the most important
He's not
part.
the most important
As far as the offense goes?
They would never in a million years make a, what is he, 35, 32, 33?
I think he's
with
30. 31, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's 32.
With 2 years of coaching experience, you think they're going to make him the most important voice?
In fact, they did.
No, because Nick's the most important voice.
Dude,
Nick's actually the most important.
He is. I don't know what to tell you.
All
right, well, we can just pretend it's Sean Mannion, but it's not.
Nick doesn't know the offense. He hired a coach who knows it.
Correct.
He said it in the quote.
Yeah, he picked the offense.
He said it in the quote.
And also, I think you're assuming Nick doesn't know the offense. That's an assumption. Nick has not ran the offense.
Is this Rob Lincoln's afternoon show?
Or is he running the Spike Gaskins scheme?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Let me jump in here for a
Much
second.
like when you hired me, you got all the pros and cons of hiring me.
Let me jump in here for a second.
I was your beat writer.
I will say this.
I'm proud of it.
Nick also said it wouldn't be smart of them to not incorporate things that they've done well in the past into this offense.
That's the other thing, and that's the honest truth.
Like he said that things they've done well in the past, they're going to continue to do that with the offense.
The tush push, yeah.
Eliot,
the tush
what
push.
are those things?
I think you'll see, what are the things? Being in the shotgun.
Well,
man.
plenty of West Coast offense guys are in the shotgun. Tua was in the shotgun 85% of the time, and he was coached by Mike McDaniel. That's not some Nick Sirianni invention being in shotgun.
I didn't say it was, but that's the stuff from last year. I think when you think of this new offense, you think of Jaelan under center a lot more. You think of play action runs and passes. You think of passes over the middle.
Well, they weren't good in the red zone last year. They may keep that red zone.
They were,
offense.
but Tulo did an awesome job there. But
that's right. We fired him.
Yeah. Well, that was unfair. But regardless, to your point, I think they will try to incorporate new things. And if those things don't work, they will go back. And this is why I'm confident they won't win 7 games. Get back to your initial thing. Because I think Nick and Jaelan can win a bunch of different ways. And if worse comes to worse, they'll just win the way they have the past 5 years.
Well, it was certainly, they cut it close last year.
Well, not really close to 7 games.
Well, they're probably going to give up more points last year than they gave up this year.
Well, hold
on, Spike.
But to be fair, they were 5 games over 7 wins.
You thought the defense would be worse last year than it was the year before.
But it was.
Not by much.
Yeah, but it went from being the number 2 defense to the number 5 defense.
Yes, but they gave up more points and they scored fewer.
Well,
this sounds like me talking offense.
And we thought they would be out of the top 10.
Well, sure. Yes, wrong about that. But also
10.
didn't see the offense getting substantially worse, which it got.
That is fair.
All right. Before we let you go, Eliot.
Fair. No, please,
hurry
up.
No, this is very important.
It's Caller of the Year?
Caller of the Year.
I'm happy to talk about it.
So I want to talk to you about that, but I do want to break some news here about Caller of the Year, about a lie that Jack told.
Ooh.
Yes,
Ooh.
Caller of the Year, a lie that Jack told.
I'm not really a lying type guy.
Well, you did lie yesterday on the show.
Interesting.
And you were trying to protect yourself.
And I did lie about Ben Franklin.
Okay.
He never said
who
that.
There we go.
There's not
Thank
a
you.
quote from Ben Franklin about beer.
Yeah, shocker.
Yeah.
It was Franklin Institute 7 things that Ben Franklin did not say.
It's a small distinction in the article.
It took us 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to jump in and do something that was stopping everyone from cooking.
Okay, all right, right.
Yeah. We did that
Okay.
already today.
So one of our expert panel is Gary from Vineland.
Right.
And I was giving Gary heat yesterday that it was difficult for us to get his email address because he never responded to Jack's text.
Oh.
And Jack said, I said in the text message, he said, "This is Jack. What's your email?"
Yeah.
I got a screenshot of the text message. Ooh. Now, Jack, could you be clear? You had never texted Gary before. Gary did not have your phone number.
No.
Right. It says, "Yo,
you
Gary."
Can't trust anything he
Right.
says.
Hold on.
So he had never texted Gary before.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the text message. It says, from a stranger number,
Right.
"Yo, Gary, what's your email?"
Yeah, but see, what happened is I did send a first text saying, "Gary, it's Jack." And I guess maybe he never got that text somehow.
But he got the second one?
Can you send me a
I'll send you a
screenshot to that
screenshot
text?
of what I have.
Okay, I would like to see. Because
Did Gary delete it?
I don't know. Maybe it's too much.
Fritz would still have it in his.
Well, I still have it in mine. Now, what does sometimes happen if it's too much storage on the phone, it gets a little lost. This isn't Gary. This is
How long ago
I want
was
to see a
this?
screenshot.
I'll
You
get the
send it
screenshot.
Send it right now.
This should be really easy.
It was not because I didn't save Gary's number.
Now, Justin in Tennessee.
So I got to scroll back.
Well, just search Gary.
Search the word Gary in your text.
I know. All right, hold on one second.
All right. Now, we awarded Caller of the Year yesterday.
I saw it.
Won by vote to Justin, Tennessee. Originally a Go Birds caller.
Go Birds caller.
Originally a Go Birds caller
Proud of
over
him.
Herb
Was
in the
very proud of
Northeast.
him, yeah.
Were you happy with the results?
Yeah, I love Justin. He's one of my 5 favorite callers. He is a Go Birds caller. It's been really awesome seeing him go from Go Birds and be on all the shows. Yeah,
You did vote for Herb.
I voted for her. Yeah.
Now, can you explain? Now, I'm not begrudging you for voting
Right.
for Herb. You're only one of 2 to
you're
vote
the only
for
person
Herb.
that I was cool with yesterday.
Now,
So here's
wow,
why-
you really didn't want Justin to win.
Yeah. Here's why I voted her.
I walked into that one.
You
That's
did.
my fault.
Well, it's also funny how you said 5-2 is unfair, 4-3 would have, like it's one.
You're right, yeah.
So obviously Justin's my guy.
Yes.
But I felt as part of the expert panel, I needed to put my bias aside. And
Okay.
I as much as I would have loved, and I'm happy that a Go Birds caller won on the afternoon show because it makes me proud of the Go Birds show. I think Herb is a better afternoon caller. That
Okay.
Justin doesn't call in as much as Herb. Herb's calls are unbelievably funny. Justin's a great caller, obviously, But if I look at just 2 to 6, I think Herb is a bigger part of your guys' show than Justin is.
Well,
and I love Justin.
Was. I mean, we don't. He might not be in the
We
competition
may have
next year.
lost Herb
He seemed
yesterday.
pretty salty yesterday.
Well, yeah, he might be on probation. He
Again.
might. Yeah. Well, this isn't probation. This is.
He taking a hiatus.
Yeah.
There's something happening I don't know
I'll
about.
have to hear the story. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Herb might be on the outs.
Yeah, well, he might have jumped back on the wagon.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Is it on the wagon or off the wagon?
He's off the wagon.
No,
If you're on the wagon, you're good. If you're off the wagon, it means you screwed up.
Oh, because I heard God
Yes.
off the wagon.
Yes, he's
yeah,
off
I'm glad
the
we
wagon.
cleared that up.
Yeah.
Clarify what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
you're right in there today.
Well, no, I did find it.
Oh,
No, so I texted Gary February 19th, 5:23, when he was on hold.
Okay.
And I said, "Hey, man, it's Jack."
oh, can you send me the
I
screenshot?
sent you it.
Okay.
And then
Well,
I
then
s-
how would Gary know
And then I
about
sent a follow-up 2 days later. Said, "Yo, Gary, what's your email?" So that's
Hey man, it's Jack. Now you did say, "Hey man, it's Jack." LOL.
LOL.
Yeah.
well, that's an
What was
LOL is
funny?
a classic way to loosen the tension.
It is.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. then Jack did not lie. Gary is a fraud.
Yeah.
Gary's a
Or
fraud.
Gary just his phone wasn't working or something like that.
Look.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
Well, I'm a benefit of the doubt.
Listen, you just gave us evidence.
Well, yeah, and Gary tried to corner you
I was
by
about to say,
emailing me
Gary's the one that was
privately.
sending
Yes.
screenshots.
Yeah.
Gary seems very tight about this little accusation that happened a month and a half ago.
All right.
The trophy was sick, though.
It was a
The
great
trophy
trophy.
is
Sick
awesome.
one, yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Eliot, as always. Also, we want to thank Dave and Bonnie, who donated to the Eagles
Yes.
Autism Foundation from the. You did it during the Radiothon, right? Is that when you did it? Who came in and sat with us? Also brought us. Hold on, the Jaws beer. I know I'll probably get yelled at for plugging it, but
It's a cool can.
Neck of the Woods Brewing, and it is the Jaws John. Thank you for bringing us beer. We appreciate it. Thank you for your very generous donation to sit here and watch us yell at
Yeah.
each other about the
Well-
Eagles.
well, as
Sorry
Ben-
you got my hour.
Yeah, as Ben Franklin once said,
yeah.
beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be
I
happy.
love that it was a list of things Ben Franklin never
Small
says.
detail. Small
Yes.
detail.
Unbelievable.
Well, the Go Birds podcast is never miss, especially right now. You get Go Birds Daily from Eliot. You can subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And tomorrow is the big day. Eliot's 12 hours on the air with all of us. The Birds Town Hall will be at McGurk's and
Should have
Horsham.
saved the shirt for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I got more.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You're going to be extra sassy
Yeah,
tomorrow?
I'll be a little sassy
He's
tomorrow.
ready to break out that spring wardrobe.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be cold again next week.
I know.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Sorry, I got good coats, too.
All right.